Good morning, traders, and welcome to Framework Fortune. I'm just starting out great this morning. Just wonderful. Just had a little problem there, and then realized I had my mic muted, so I was talking muted for a second. But anyway, welcome everybody. Let's hop into this ugly market today. The NQ actually has tried to rebound some here. In this last, what are we on? The 15-minute last hour, it's tried to rebound back up to the 13,000 area. But, just building a lower low, I think we're going to get rejected here and probably sell off with it being Friday. But who knows what can transpire over the weekend. With this pullback, we have seen pullbacks across most everything except for oil. And I watched the oil futures all day yesterday into last night before after hours closed on the market, and I ended up holding INDO and HYMC. I didn't want to, but with the market looking the way it is, gold and oil plays, that's where I've been saying I'm going to be once things start crashing. So yeah, I think we're on the precipice of this nasty drop, unless somehow we rebound today and open up next week back above 13,000, and then it might be around that July time that I've been talking about on all the charts. There's not a lot up that I've seen this morning. SIDU had a big run out the open, but ran into that 50-day on the daily chart and is getting rejected. There's also resistance right back through here, so a ton of resistance at that $4 area. Looks like at the moment it kinda is trying to slow down on the selling, but we are getting closer to the slow part of the day. But simply enough, all you gotta do is just play this little downward channel, and if it breaks back over that downward channel, it could start moving. We got F and KO. That does not look great. It is above all of the damn allergies. What'd you say, Lauren? Oh, you got 15 videos to upload today? Don't upload 15 videos at once. That's not a good idea. Spread them out. I'll hit you up after the stream. We'll talk about that. Because if it's all on one channel, posting 8 videos at once is not good for the algorithm. It'll spread its focus across most of those videos. So you want to release 1, maybe 2 a day at most. And then also, you don't want to burn yourself out. I mean, if you put out 15 videos in one day, a lot of people might expect you to put out 15 videos all the time at once. And that's not a trap you want to get into, trust me. I've tried to avoid that and put out, a fair amount of content without destroying myself. Oh, okay, gotcha. What's up, Lori Lee? How are you? Yeah, if you're just going to get them ready to be posted, yeah, you're good. I thought you were saying you were posting all 15. That's another one of those oil plays, but cracked out of that channel there. It's up a little bit. INDO did have a hard dip when the market dipped, but it's almost back on this trend line. If it can hop back above back above 19, I think we can see it try to start moving. With oil pushing up, it should start getting some attention, but the market's mixed right now. I don't know. Oh, it's too early in the day to tell what's going to happen with it being Friday. And gold almost back up to 1900. See, that's why I'm still holding HYMC, because even though they had that sell-off, they yanked down because the market yanked down so hard. Gold and oil are rebounding quicker than anything else. Silver and probably uranium. Well, I don't know about silver. Let me look at the Trading View Market Watch here. See what's going on with all the markets. Ethereum at that 2,700, Bitcoin at 36.5, finally showing a little weakness. Gold 19, silver 22.5, just kind of hanging out there. Uranium looks like it actually dropped some today. Yeah, all the uranium plays are down. The dollar is still trying to test this 105 area, 104 area as some resistance. I don't know. I do not think it's going to get up over that. All right. Anyway. Oh, nice. Yeah. That's unfortunate, Lauren. What's up, Lando? How's it going, my friend? Actually, I need to get back. I need to get back in contact with you, Lando, about video editing and things like that. Oh, and I never. Oh, yeah. You didn't have to call me back. That's what it was. I remember I did call you the other day. You gotta call me. Gotta let me know when you got some time, man. We'll chop it up. I want to check out that website still. I have yet to see it. See, BVW. Who remembers this play here? This thing, it had that big dump. And it finally found a bottom at 326 and actually doubled in price on, what was that, Tuesday. Been coming back down since, but could be one to kind of keep on watch, as it's seemingly wanting to bounce off of this 325 area. And it's been so low, so far away from the 50 and the 200. I know everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people have been watching RDBX. Let me see this on the hour chart. Which RDBX, you got the trend line right there, and there's your channel. But as I've been showing on this channel, down here's the low. Next entry would have been there. Come on, drawing tool. You gonna do this to me again? There we go. So your distance there is not too far from that low. Distance in that area is not too far. But up here, we're getting quite a ways away from that pre-market and low a day. Quite a bit of distance. So looks like that may start coming down, because on the daily chart we are running right into the 200. We broke over the 200 this week, but it's pulled back under it. So where's that 200 exactly at? 632. I'd just say 650. So this thing's got to break 650 for it to keep on trying to climb. Almost a double top there on the hour chart. But most concerning thing is if it cracks this 10-day moving average, it could drop all the way back down under 5. 5 should be some strong support, though. I don't know if this would be a play today anymore, but it could be a little bit later. See, INDO still trying to test 19, hitting 1870 at the moment. I really don't want to hold these over the weekend, but I don't know. It's still a lot of time in the day. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I've not put anything out yet, Austin, other than what I swung from yesterday that I wasn't planning on swinging, but I swung them anyway, HYMC and INDO. Um, this morning in Hal's chat, H&H Traders chat, I was saying that, the market coming down even harder this morning, the NQ, with that nasty drop to that low there. Ooh, is that the low of the year? Ooh, that is the low of the year. Yeah, so we just hit a low of year. And it being Friday, I was saying I'm not really looking for any trades. There's not really, there's some stuff that might possibly move, but I'm more concerned about the market dumping at any point in time. BBIG gapping up over that downtrend into the 200-day. It's getting rejected at 200-day, but I did hear somebody, I forgot who it was in H's chat, talking about they made a nice swap on this. And I can't remember your name if you're in the stream for some reason. I'm blanking out, but I know you've been talking about BBIG for a very long time. So shout out to you for having that patience to hold through all of this downtrend and get a nice pop on this thing. Morning, Donnell. Yeah. Oh, it's Ted. Oh, Ted and Lori. Lori, you're in BBIG. I didn't know that. So congratulations, Lori, getting a nice rip there. Yeah, there's a lot of panic for sure, and I agree with that your statement, Austin, to a point. If you are like trying to get true valuations, then you probably are doing better than people who are buying at the top or buying into FOMO or anything like that. I'll definitely agree there. Oh, you just called it out at open, Lori? You was too chicken to buy? That's okay. It was a good call out. But there was somebody, yeah, maybe it was Ted. I don't think it was Ted. I thought it was somebody else who they were talking about BBIG for weeks on the channel here, and it was a couple of months ago. I don't know. Who knows? So many ticker symbols fly through these chats. Let's see, VTNR. I like VNTNR for next week. So far today, did have a pullback, but bounced off of the $10 area and the 10-day moving average at $10 right there. So as long as it can hold up above $10, close above $10 today, I think we may see this start getting some action next week. Boy, BTTX died off. I'm going to go ahead and take that off the list. CYN having a pullback after yesterday's pop. That JCSE still very little volume, but just continues to slowly creep up. Some type of industrial stock. ICPT actually doesn't look that bad either. Looking at the daily chart, second day trying to hold above this 200. This IDU is starting to trend or try to reverse the trend here, this short-term downtrend. Let's see, Swivel, that had a pop-up, but has a lot of selling pressure at $8. Looks like it may, well, I don't know, it may almost be done consolidating. This big nasty wick. Oh, actually, looking at swivel on the daily chart, this might be a head and shoulders pattern. Because this would be your head, and then you got your shoulder, and this is a possibly another shoulder forming with that 50-day and 200-day right there. I think this might be a shoulder. We may see swivel come back down. See HYMC trying to break back over 160. Let's see, get out of here. Same thing with BBIG as that one other play. We've got this downtrend. This little sloping channel that needs to break. Ton of resistance at 350. CCXI, I don't like that. I don't like that either. HDSN, this thing has been on a nice tear the last few days, but starting to look like it may be getting overextended because you can see these movements are getting smaller and smaller to the upside. We had that initial big rip. We had this little push up that barely peeked over that previous rip. And then today we've had a little peek up. We just hit a high a day. They beat earnings yesterday, so that may be why it's pushing up. But you can see where this thing has just been uptrending this whole entire year. It's actually quite a ways up the chart. Pretty bullish. Yeah, I would expect a pullback, though. Like I said, this length so far that we've moved has been quite a bit lower than these other rips up. Give me just a second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, let's see what we get on these comments. Austin, you sold your swing on NRG today, bought some BABA, WB, and VT. And you have orders in for FMB and ACCO. Stonks, you're watching SNDL to see the live dead cat bounce. Austin, your focus shouldn't be on profitable trash. It should be on undervalued companies that are getting dragged down by the overall market. I agree with that if we're talking about day trading. I see somebody talking about SIDU. Let's pop back over and look at it. It's trying to break. It's trying to move back up. I want to give it a little chance there. Like I said, I think it's what? $4. And then what is that right there? 330. That's so basically we're in this three. Yeah, that possibly could start to get moving again. What's the NASDAQ doing? Oh, so that's not good. That's what I thought was about to happen. We got rejected off of the 13,000 area. Really, really hard there. So the market may continue to come down today. I'm just looking at this daily chart, and this daily chart on the NQ is horrifying. This is the whole this is the whole year's chart so far. We just hit that new low of year, but we scroll out to the 3-year, and you can really, really see it where cracking this area there's not much room left of support. 12.5 is about the next room of support before we come down to 11.5, and that's what I'm expecting sometime within the next week is 11.5. So if that's the case, if we really start crashing hard, God, there's a bunch of news that's going to make me cuss. I can already tell. And then also, Jerome Powell said they're offloading $96 billion in assets, as I've been talking about. So we know that some billions of stocks are getting sold off of the Federal Reserve balance sheet. So I just don't see anybody wanting to buy from the feds when they're selling, when they're controlling the inflation, or well, trying to control the inflation, but I don't know. Maybe, as I've been saying, maybe we hold up one more time. Maybe. But this time has been real, real sketchy. Let's see here. INDO still hanging around that 18.5 area. HYMC still slowly trying to creep itself up. So we got dogs. What's dogs doing? Dogs looks like trash. That looks like trash. So we got IAG. This is let's see. Why did this drop so hard? They just got downgraded for some reason. Let's see. What does that say right there? You got just a bunch of analysts downgrading their price targets. Why are they downgrading price targets on a junior miner on a gold stock during this time when we have, over 10% inflation. Doesn't make much sense to me. Oil close to breaking. Wow. So oil is right at 111 right now. Break of 111.50, and we're going to see oil try to push up to that 115 area. It's still, I don't know. You can see it's starting to turn red. As I was going to, I'm like looking at this candle right here on the 15 minute. 15 minute. It looked like buyers are trying to come in, but the selling pressure on the market right now is just, it's just rough. Okay. BK Guitar are using the Warrior scanner. The Warrior scanner? What are you talking about? I don't use any scanners from Warrior scanners. I've not done any videos on a Warrior scanner. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. And I don't know if you have the wrong channel or you have something confused, but I definitely have never even looked at if you're talking about Ross Cameron's Warrior Trading scanners or something. I've never even looked at his scanners. Except for maybe that once where I reacted to one of his trades, but I didn't like focus on his scanner. I don't even remember what it was. I think he uses. I would assume he uses trade ideas. I don't think he's using Thinkorswim scanners. Let's see. Okay, no problem, BK the Guitar. You're welcome to hang out here in the channel. I was like, I don't know, you know. Oh, you used my video to set up your TOS screen. Nice. Is that working out well for you? Because I have done several updates to certain things on my setup, and a few little videos have a few little extra things, including we have a whole separate scanner video of how to set up multiple different scanners. And actually, another guy reproduced the Warrior scanner. I mean, he's not doing anything secretive. There's nothing to that scanner, I guarantee it. Because it's easy to make a scanner. I mean, all Ross Cameron looks for is the highest volume, low float stocks for the most part. And that scanner can be made in half a second on Thinkorswim. All I got to do is put minimum volume there. Put the shares to like max 50 million. Is that 50 million? No. 000. Yeah, 50 million. And then put whatever price range you want. This is just the basic similar one, I'm sure, similar to whatever he's doing, because most traders use the same scanners as far as like the settings. If you're looking for the low float stocks, then I mean your settings are going to be pretty much the same across the board no matter what scanners you're using. But see, I make that scan, and then right there SIDU up 58% on the day, which of course it's already over here on my low float scanner along with these other plays. So I don't think there's any specialty to his scanners other than it, like I said, it may be trade ideas, but trade ideas cost like $800 a month, I think, for their scanner software. And I'm not about that life. I'm not going to pay for scanners I can create in 5 seconds myself on Thinkorswim. Here, let me send you to the websites. Of course, frameworkfortune.com is free all the way around. There's no anything, but here is whoops. Damn it, I pulled up the code of YouTube. I didn't mean to do that. I did it again. Stop. I was coding last night on the blockchain ecosystem. There you go. So if you go to that right there, BK, that right there, yeah, I'll believe that, Daniel B. I know you're joking, but but yeah, if you go there, you can come here to the website and you can see multiple scanners. H&H Traders updated some recently, the low float, mid float, high float, and then I had the simple pre-market one I basically just created in front of you guys right now. And I also have a cheap dividend scanner, dividend stock scanner that I built looking for cheap stocks with high dividend yields because hold on a second. What's going on there? We still on here? Yeah. But we constantly, and there's that video as well. The low float scanner. I think it's a little bit more in detail than this one. But we're constantly adding, as we're creating more scanners for more things. And it's all free, so check that out. No problem, BK Guitar. Let's see. So we got a little debate between Austin and Lauren about POWW. Too many guitars. Hey man, do you do guitar music? Do you play guitar music? Is that on your channel? Because I'll have to go check that out if you do. Let's see. Let's check out what we got going on here though at the moment. If anything's starting to move back up. Now you can see swivel really starting to come down. Possibly. This may start to be a flag pattern if it can hold right here and start to bounce back up. But that doesn't mean that it'll break out. With it being Friday, with the market being so sketchy, every resistance line is going to hold up. And that's what we've seen on every play so far this morning. Even on those initial breaks. Sadu is the top gainer on the day right now. And it hit 450 and that was it. Just got smashed right at that first resistance line. So when the first resistance lines are felling this quickly, while the market is looking like this, your resistance lines are going to hold a lot stronger. And that's the reason why I'm not really looking for any trades today, because I don't think anything I get into is going to break past the first resistance line. Except maybe, the plays that I'm in from yesterday, but those are based off of the futures of oil for INDO and based off the gold futures for HYMC. Not only that, I'm digging more and more into Eric Sprott and his funds. Sprott has a lot of funds, and I know quite a bit about Sprott, but I've never really dug into his funds that hard. I've looked at the funds, but now I'm going to start digging into his funds and see where he's putting all his money at in this precious metals market, because we know for a fact that Eric Sprott is buying uranium in every single dip for that Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. No, you don't got any music on YouTube? Okay, well, if you ever think about, getting on YouTube for music or whatever else, just hit me up or hit Stonks and Chomps Gaming up or hit HH Trader. We're always looking to add new people into the Framework Fortune Network, and music is something we really don't got besides when I sing to my stocks. I haven't sung to a stock in a while because this market I haven't been. It's not had me in a singing mood, so we need some other music around here besides my singing. um, I think I don't know if I would say Lauren doesn't know about the. Oh yeah, yeah. Ross Cameron did get sued, or not sued. He got fined. I think he either got well. I don't think it was a lawsuit. I didn't look that much into it because I didn't care. I like I've been saying forever. Ross Cameron is a weasel face scumbag. Uh, but I think he got fined by the SEC. From what I read, it was him promising profits with his strategy through all of his promotion, Google Ads, and all of that. And you cannot do that. You cannot promise profits. And that's why I don't like the SEC will crack down on it. But not only that, you promising somebody that your strategy is going to work for them is I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you shouldn't be following other people's strategies exactly. You should watch their strategies, observe it, absorb it into your analysis, do your own research on it, back test the strategy, all of that. But going out and just following somebody randomly and not doing all that because they're saying on YouTube or whatever that they can make so much money with this strategy, and maybe they can. But remember, everybody's brain is different. We're all different individuals, so there is there's no one way to trade anything. There's no one way to trade the stock market, no one way to trade cryptos, no one way to trade real estate. I mean, you can rent houses, you can flip houses, you can get the contracts and sell the contracts to investors for houses that are need to be um, repurposed and refurbished and all of that. So you can trade a whole bunch of different ways. It all depends on your own individual perception of the markets and perception of your risk tolerance and what your goals are. Okay, thank you, Stocks and Chomps. So she went and got the receipts for us. He got sued by the FTC. Really, the FTC? Huh? I thought it. Well, that makes sense. I thought it was going to be the DTC, but or not the DTC. I'm sorry. DTC is a whole different company. Um, the SEC. That's what I meant. I thought the SEC got him, but the FTC will get you too. You got to watch out. You can't be out here snake oil salesman day trading strategies. People don't act kindly to you tell them they can make a lot of money. So Sadu is pushing up. We can go ahead and take out this downtrend and put in the new uptrend that has started. And if that can continue, that could get some moves on back up. Just got to break that 350 area. Again, though, I think even if we do break 350 here, we're going to run into 4 and just come right back down. See, Swivel Holdings 13D filing from investor shows new 6.4% stake in company. When did that just come out? That just come out. Oh, that was earlier today. That's interesting. So, a lot of times when people inside the company are willing to buy the stock, we do see some pops up, and that must have been what this whole run was about. And this may end up being a flag consolidation pattern after seeing that news. People like to react positively to that type of news. But again, well, actually, let's see if we can find out how much he bought these for. Okay, I gotta go look at the 13D filing. What is it? BAM SEC. Okay. What's that ticker again? Swivel. So where's that 13D? Right here. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Let's see. Number of shares beneficially owned by each reporting person. So let's see. So it looks like he got about 7.5 million shares of the company, but I'm not seeing the price that he got them at. Oh, hold on a minute. Let's see. It was prior to business combination, so there was some type of business combination. I think maybe Swivel was a shell company, and maybe this new company merged with them to get on the stock market, is what I'm guessing here. I just don't know too much about it, but reading that 13D filing. Oh, right there's the actual agreement. The shares of Class A ordinary shares reported herein as beneficially owned by the reporting person were acquired in connection with a business combination contemplated by the combination business agreement, blah, 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 dated as July 28th, 2021 by and among Swivel Inc., Queen's Gambit Growth Capital, the issuer, Pivotal Message Sub Company, and Pivotal Merger Sub Company 2 Limited. So it was a merger into a shell company prior to the consummation. The reporting person held, so the person who's buying this, whatever his name was, I forgot what it was, held 5,000 shares of Legacy Swivel's ordinary common shares. As a result of the business combination, all shares of Legacy Swivel's ordinary common shares A of no par value, including those held by reporting person, were converted into the right to receive shares of Class A ordinary shares using an exchange ratio determined in accordance with the agreement. Basically, he had old shares of the company, whatever it was, and then after the conversion with the merger, he now owns 7.5 million shares. So it's actually not that he bought more shares into the company.
That PR is a little bit misleading. He had shares in the company, merger happens, and however they converted the old shares into the new shares, he just got new shares. That's pretty much it. It does say it shows new 6.4% stake, but it doesn't say that he bought 6.4% stake. This is a huge difference. Just one keyword in that press release that is not showing, and that easily could be a disaster. So it's always good to use BAM SEC if you are looking at something. Not, I mean, day trading, you know, you're more looking at technical analysis, but if you're swinging or anything longer term, BAM.SEC is a very good website to use for finding those filings very, very easily, including shelf registrations. So there's that website there in the chat if you guys want to check that out. So DB, you said it was his own students? His own students put him on trial? God. But, we'll see. I think that's why Swivel slowed down along with the market dropping. It's probably people had a little bit of time after it ripped there to start reading into this PR. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute. This guy really didn't buy any more shares in the company. So that makes me a little skittish on Swivel, even with the technical analysis of this possible flag pattern. BWV still slowly creeping up. Hudson's still in the same area. It looks like everything's still in the same area. Yeah, the NQ just going sideways since that drop. Just trying to get back up and test 13,000 again, but that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 tests just in the last 12 hours or so that it has continued to get rejected. See, HYMC INDO still hanging out where they should be. Yeah, nothing is looking good right now. Nothing whatsoever. Yep, Sadu. It's trying to hold this trend line, but the selling pressure, this is the 15 minutes, so there's 6 minutes left on this candle. The selling pressure is starting to make it curl back down after this little push. Like, we got slammed at 325 there, tried to pop over it, but sellers shoving it right back down under that. So if 325 doesn't start to hold that support on Sadu, then we are probably going to see a nasty little curl down and pull back even further. That really needed to try to go up and test the top or at least 350 or something. Just that momentum just slowly dying away that it just caught. We'll give it a few more minutes to see if it's going to crack here, or if it's going to end up holding up that trend line, but looking like it may crack. Oh, God. Again, ooh, look at that. On the NQ, we tried to get back up over 12.8, slammed down again. Not able to even get back up to the 12.9 area. So same thing as we're kind of seeing there on Sadu. The NASDAQ is starting to curl over against that upward resistance, which means we could be seeing another drop down. Yeah, how far we got down to 12,519. So more than likely we're going to come back down to 12.5 and test that as some support, but you can just see it starting to curl over here. Oil still, oil's still having a lot of trouble at this 110 area. You can see right about there. All this congestion, and now this congestion today. And we're trying to hold above it, but it's kind of starting to curl over too. And that's the thing, if the NASDAQ starts dropping hard like it did, we could see things pulling down quite a bit. Even things that are up against the market, if the market yanks that hard, people are going to panic. Yeah, I'm not seeing nothing else right now. Oh God, I'm reading some of those headlines in the news and it's horrible. Stem and HGN, but no volume. Let's take a look at them, Lori. Stem. Well, you're way down here. Did just bounce and make kind of a double bottom. Both little dips right there, about the same area of $7. It's trying to come back up, but this thing has been very bearish. And still looks very bearish. Draw the downtrend right about there. And then put your bottom of it about right there. And you can see the channel that it's in. And it basically has to break back over that 50-day. Same area as the channel to try to move up. But then it's going to run into $10 resistance and $11 resistance, $11.50 resistance, $12, $12.50. Just all of this area through here was previous congestion of support and resistance. Same as back here. It's a lot of resistance ahead of it. What is stem? I'm assuming this is some type of stem cell company or a marijuana company. But I don't know. I don't think it's a marijuana company because I've not really ever heard of it. Stems Athena software. Optimize. Okay, never mind. It's neither one. This is one of those. I thought maybe they had a ticker that made sense, but maybe they don't. You know, that happens quite a bit in the stock market. So it turns out STEM is actually some type of tech company, some type of software. Let's see. They did complete an acquisition of Also Energy. Hold on a minute. They buying up energy companies. Let's see what's going on with this STEM Inc. Let's find out about them real quick. STEM Energy. So it is an energy company. Wow. Okay. Transforming your renewable projects with clean energy intelligence with more of a decade of experience, pioneering energy storage technology. This could sell wholesale energies. Use STEM's proven Athena software to monetize utility scale systems. Ooh. So Adobe uses STEM, Albertsons UPS, Facebook, Gap, Granite, oh, here I said Adobe. STEM is trusted by the world's leading project developers. Top tier battery hardware integrated with STEM's Athena software. Athena Smart Energy software, but by combining advanced energy storage solutions with Athena, STEM enables customers to optimize energy use and maximize the value of renewable energy. So let's go check out Athena. Get more from your energy investments with Athena. By sitting between distributed, Athena and STEM software platform built to seamlessly integrate and optimize energy resources. By sitting in between distributed energy resources, the utility and grid controls, Athena makes it easy to maximize energy asset performance and investments. So they've got 1.1 gigawatts under management, 10 to 30% average IRR increase, and 22 plus million runtime hours. This is getting along the lines of blockchain. EV charging. Huh. It's a very interesting company. I could definitely dive in more, but that may be a nice find, Lori. Let's see. Very interesting. Okay, so I can see why that's kind of popping up a little bit. EAF, if it's in the steel industry, yeah, you're probably all right there, as all the metals seem to be you talking about EAF? But it could be a still. But if the stock market continues to drop, I don't think its good earnings will hold this company up. Because it's pulling back today with the NASDAQ. So, if the market doesn't hold here and we don't get that rebound back up to that 14 area, we could easily see the market pull down even more, and even plays like what is it? Where did it go? EAV. I don't think I've got it on my list. Or what is it? EAF. Even plays like EAF that are like super undervalued could go lower. And I'm saying this because we saw that in the 2020 COVID dip. Right now, even though we've had this big pullback in the NQ, we are still not to pre-COVID levels of the NQ. We're still above that, quite a ways. So like a lot of these stocks are still really overvalued. And as the feds are dumping their assets, like they've said, we could see prices go a lot lower, even on good value plays. Like IRPR, which was one you guys have heard me talk about a lot. Wow, it's down to 135. But during the COVID dip, if I'm mark this back to 3 years, IPR was all the way down in that dip at $40. And then we had this big run with the inflation in the market. IPR has also been doing very well because of their business model. and they've pulled back to 135. But that pre-pandemic kind of high area was about 100. So we could see IAPR, a very strong company that pays nice dividends, get down to 50, $40. We have not pulled back that hard yet. So even solid companies can see even worse. Just exactly like right there into 2020, where IIPR was coming up. It was like $100. You'd have thought that was bullish, and then that drop happened, and could have got it for 40 at 60 something dollars. So I'm not trying to take away from your strategy, Austin. I get what you're saying as far as grabbing plays at these low valuations, but are these low valuations actually low valuations, or has prices been so high that these are actually still kind of high valuations or middle ground valuations? I don't think we're hitting lows on any stocks that are at the bottom until we see the NQ hit a bottom or the SPY hit a bottom. Anything that is following the stock market. And like I said, the next bottom is not down until 11.5 on the NQ. So even though those valuations might sound good to you now, the timing of those valuations could be messing with your analysis. It may not be, it may be. But then again, we talked, and everything that we're seeing on the charts in USD is not accurate, because charts in USD does not show inflation. It does not reflect inflation. It reflects the reaction to the markets, economics, headline news, whatever. But inflation is basically hidden in the charts because it's hidden within the US dollar itself. So that's another thing you got to kind of keep in mind when you're looking at undervalued plays right now. Now, I do agree. At some point we're going to see some very good entries. You got IIPR on your watch list. Target price of 118. Yeah. Every investment is the present value of all future cash flow. Yeah, I got you. And well, that's what I say. I know you. I know you know what you're doing there. You got the 10% of your portfolio on these positions and stuff. So, you're doing it smart. You're not risking the whole biscuit on trying to time the bottom of this market. I tried to time the bottom of the COVID dip market in 2020, and I made the mistake in the beginning of doubting the Fed's ability to be able to push the market back up with that artificial QE. And I was very, very wrong. So I actually got in on the dip, in the COVID dip, a little bit higher up on the rebound, but not terribly high. But I was looking for it to drop harder. And that's one of the reasons why I've been saying for 3 years the stock market is going to come down hard at some point. It should have come down harder during the COVID dip, but they started the money printers up, not money printers, the currency printers up, and shoved a bunch of currency to prop up the stock market, the bond markets, real estate market, everything. So now that they're unloading all of that, we'll see. We'll see where the bottom is, but I definitely am not going to try to time the bottom on this one. See the highs on the Dow Jones dating back to 2015 and 2016. Yeah. I don't think we're going to see those highs anytime soon. again. Give me just a few minutes here, guys. I'm going to take a quick little break, and I will be right back. We're over an hour and a half in here. We'll give the stream about another 30 minutes and see if anything starts to transpire, if anything starts to turn around. But yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. So Let's see, is anything transpired? No. I had BWV trying to get over 4. Coming right back up to it. I'm actually trying to hold over 4. Just not a lot of volume on it, though. Alright, so well, it's trying to hold 110.50. Yeah, I don't think anything's going to be happening. So this morning in H&H Traders chat, there was some, if you were in there, there was some lot of opinions going around about blockchain technology, and of course we've seen opinions here on the channel as well. If you guys are interested, if you want me to do a live Q&A, I'll do it right now. If you guys have any questions about blockchain technology, cryptos in general, any of that, and we can go over that now, or if you guys would prefer, we can put it on a later date, put it on the crypto channel. But there was some people asking questions in H&H Traders chat that were trying to get information and was getting very, very bad information. Which is part of why it took me a little bit longer to get the stream going this morning, because I was having to try to correct a lot of the misinformation that was being spread. Sky's ripping? Oh, really? What are you doing, Sky? Why are you popping up for? It's been a while. I bet it probably hit a bottom or something. Oops. But you guys just let me know if you want to learn more. Yeah, very nice. Yep, Sky hitting that 50-day, end up holding up there. But oh, hold on. Let me go into a daily chart. Yeah, so Sky just came back down to that bottom again and bounced again. So that 575 area, maybe 6, this is the bottom so far until Sky cracks that. But, well, yeah, we still have a pretty sharp downtrend. Sky will have to break this downtrend, which looks like maybe next week sometime, possibly. This is a airplane stock, I believe, and I don't see why that would be trying to rebound if the market doesn't rebound. We did come, let's see, we're still hanging in there, testing that 13,000, but yeah, market's going a little bit more red though. We were a lot more mixed about an hour ago. It looks like it's going to come down. INDO still struggling to get back above that. I don't like how the INDO is getting affected by the NASDAQ. Let me actually make this trend, this little channel. This channel's about something like that. But if we don't hold 17, we don't hold this trend line, we could drop all the way back down to 1150 to this 200-day on INDO. If for some reason it does not start pushing up.
We may see market's volatile. We may see we'll have another pullback here, a few $3 or $4 pullback, and then see it bounce later in the day again. How's Swivel doing there? Swivel barely holding that trend line. Just barely. FMNB. Let's take a look at FMB. Paying out a decent little dividend. 15. Their dividend's been increasing. Oh, I see why you're looking at that entry. That entry is the bottom pretty much. $15 is the bottom right across there. What are you doing? Click. Do your thing. There we go. Got a lot of resistance at 18. But yeah, if it can hold where it's at, that'd be building higher lows. Low there, higher low, and then possible higher low, and that could lead to a bounce. I see what you're seeing on that. It is overextended to the downside. But again, I would be very cautious with today and it being Friday and the NQ looking like this. Basically right now on the NQ, that is the trend line, this little triangle of it trying to break back up. So if it loses that upward momentum, then we are coming down harder. You'd be happy to buy it lower. Yeah, I don't mind the I don't mind you being ready to buy in a down market. That's a lot of times when you can make really good money. It's just me personally, from what I'm thinking, I just don't think we're done yet with the NQ dropping, and I think we're going to see prices a lot lower. So like I said, I'm not going to try to time the bottom at this point. Because it's probably going to be pretty fast that we're going to get there if we do not hold 12.5 today. BVW still creeping back up to 411. So BVW, something you might be interested in for possible more of a dead cat bounce. It is in this nice little upward channel, holding pretty well, pushing to the upside. INDO's trying to hold, but gosh, it's looking rough. Everything's looking so rough. I'm going to have to disagree with you on that, Austin. So Austin, you said there's two proven ways to beat inflation. Number one, low fixed rate on a mortgage, and number two, annual dividend growth increases. I don't think that's true. I think that has been true for previous times in history when looking back But this is something. Let me pull it up real quick. I can never remember which one it is. What am I? Hold on a second. What am I? Okay. Yeah, here it is. So, technically speaking, inflation has never went down. So if you're looking back at the chart of the inflation, and this is the US CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which we know that video I just put out is not accurate. They changed the way the CPI was used, or the way it was calculated back here in 1990 to show less inflation. So when you're looking at this chart of inflation, there's not been a pullback in inflation at all. This is all the way back to 1950. So if inflation has been continuing to rise that much, especially with the sharp inflation we're seeing now, I don't see how a 30-year mortgage from 1950 would have protected you from inflation, at any point in time from here. Because a 30-year fixed mortgage, you're going to pay that amortized interest. So unless you pay your mortgage off, you're going to be paying interest for 15 years. So this is a span of 15 years on your 30, if you got that mortgage, so about right there. During this time, you would have been paying nothing but interest. First 15 years of a 30-year mortgage is majority interest. So even after you got your interest paid down, inflation has still went up. So, the price of your house in US dollar terms has probably went up as well, unless, you had a house back here and then in 2008 you got hit really hard like most people did for that housing crash. But inflation has not stopped. Like this, when you're looking at the inflation chart, it's going straight up. So I don't see how dividends annually of like 3%, 5%, how that is going to combat inflation. I definitely don't think a 30-year mortgage is going to do it either. I think 30-year mortgages, especially now with the 5.5% interest rates, which are probably about to rise since they just rose the rate hike up another 0.5%. We'll probably see a rise in housing interest rates. So like inflation has never stopped. It's never stopped. You compare inflation, like I've been showing you guys, to the US dollar at same time frame. Let's see if I can get back there. No, let's see, I'm going to go in a week. Actually, this chart only goes back, I think, to 1999. So yeah, that's not the one I want. Well, yeah. So that's the dollar strengthening. We can just go take this chart back to 1999, the inflation. And you can see the dollar on the strength index has been underperforming quite a bit, and that's because of the inflation. So if you're trying to beat inflation through a mortgage or through stocks, dividends, the dividend payments are in the US dollar that's inflated. Your mortgage payment, your house, all of that is priced in the US dollar currency. So you're not actually beating anything. With the type of inflation that we have and that we have had, pretty much going back to 1920 something when Woodrow Wilson, I think, was signed the Federal Reserve Act in. And we got central bank and the Federal Reserve, who's been controlling inflation. But the thing you got to look at, like in that video I was showing, too much. If the feds have been trying to keep inflation at 2%, then and their CPI is measuring lower than the original CPI, then they've actually been keeping inflation around 4 or 5%. So you're not you're not getting an accurate reading from the consumer price index. First off, if the inflation's even higher, and you're not getting an accurate reading from the purchasing power of your US dollar to be able to make valuations that are accurate, right? Because if everything is in the US dollar and the US dollar's inflation, the purchasing power has been going down, because if if the inflation's going up, it means your dollars are buying less. That's something you got to keep in mind. Whoops. One second, I'm trying to get back to the chat here. Okay. No, you can't say two. No. I know what you're trying to say. I understand the fixed rate, but amortized interest in a mortgage is totally different than normal interest on a credit card or anything else. I understand that 2 to 3% fixed interest rate on your money that you're got invested in your house or whatever, or the money you're paying off on your house. If inflation is higher, those US dollars you're paying back, you are paying off value quicker. But again, that first 15 years, you're not paying off hardly any value of your house. You're just paying interest. So if inflation is continuing to rise and you're continuing to pay interest for 15 years, you're not getting any value. You're upside down in your house by that 15-year mark from the base of the currency from when you bought it, the purchasing power of the US dollar from when you bought it. Your analysis is very, very good, except for that one glaring hole is you got to stop looking at the US dollar as the end all be all. The US dollar is just a currency. It is nothing special, right? Same thing with stocks. Been plenty of arguments about how the stock market is better than cryptos, and that cryptos are tulips and all of that. Well, the whole entire most stocks, especially for us retail traders, that we're holding in our portfolio, we are not actually holding. The DTC holds all of those stocks. So you are essentially trading tokens of these stocks, right? And tokens existed way before blockchain technology. If you've ever been to Chuck E. Cheese, you should know how a token works. But, you have to incorporate the inflation, because again, the inflation is not going to show on the stock charts or the future charts. It's only going to show reaction. It's a difference in currency. The currency conversion is where things get very interesting, and mortgages, if you pay your minimum monthly payment a month for 15 years, you're barely going to have anything on your house paid off. So I can't get aboard on that. The only way to beat inflation is not being the currency that's being inflated, right? Because inflation is, by definition, adding currency to the currency's supply. So to beat it, you get out of the currency that's being inflated and get in something that is not being inflated, right? But even, the traditional generation wealth building of a 30-year fixed mortgage has been gone out the window. Cash flowing assets, currency flowing assets. If your currency flow is a whole lot bigger, it's like you're gaining 20-30% in your currency flow value or your asset value every month, then you're beating inflation. If you're only getting 5 to 10% gains a year, well, inflation's over 10% right now. So you're not beating inflation with these small dividend stocks. And inflation's not going to go back to normal tomorrow, especially not this time. We'll probably see a couple of months before the Feds even reverse course, which will cause more inflation because they'll start QE again and printing currencies. But when you're trading, whatever market you're looking at, you have to realize the difference. There's a couple of things you got to realize. The difference between currency and money, and then the difference between what a chart shows in that currency versus another chart. Remember, we had that conversation, and Bitcoin versus US dollar, Ether versus US dollar, those charts look the same. But when you put Bitcoin versus Ethereum, that's a whole different chart pattern because you're not using US dollars on that technical analysis. You're looking at a chart of buying Bitcoin with Ethereum. So the candles, the whole chart pattern is going to be a completely different picture than what you were looking at in just US dollar terms. Like the NASDAQ the NQ future is basically how many futures can you buy in US dollars on this side of the chart. Well, if I wanted to change this to rubles, or if I wanted to change it to the Aussie dollar or the Kiwi dollar, then the picture would look totally different. Because the US dollar does not have the same purchasing power as the Aussie dollar or the Kiwi dollar. So your whole picture is going to change just because of the conversion of the currency. So that's why I say technical analysis is very, very important. But when doing technical analysis, no matter the market, you've got to understand that the US dollar is not the end-all be-all of charting. It's not. It's not the end-all be-all of anything. You can easily change this chart to show in whatever currency or the settings. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and see it. Let's see if I can do it real quick. I think it's in setup. Let's see. Orders, system, look and feel, display. Oh, language, right. Well, I don't want language calculations. Changes effect. I don't know. Thinkorswim might not be able to. I would think that it could. It may be something you have to call them to do. They may not just have it as a setup thing. But they have Forex, so I know. So yeah, like right here. Here's the U.S. versus Canadian dollar. I'm gonna change this chart. Well, no, we'll leave it on there. So, looking at this is how many U.S. dollars you can convert into Canadian dollars. Well, the U.S. dollar, you can see. I'm sorry. I'm saying that wrong. This is how many no, I said it right. How many U.S. dollars you would be able to convert into Canadian dollars. So, U.S. dollar is holding stronger against the Canadian dollar at the moment. I did not mean to do that. Charts. Flexible grid. But the Canadian dollar is close to a dollar in US dollars. So when we look at something that's not close, a whole different currency, let's say, let's not do the Mexican peso. Let's do let's do the Japanese yen. So US dollar versus the Japanese yen. So you can see where these fiat currencies interchange and the actual purchasing power of the currencies themselves change. And that's why I say the dollar is not set as anything. It's not anything. Like, it's just a piece of paper. It's just currency. And that currency can easily be converted into another currency that will give you a whole different picture on the charts. I wish I could change it to just everything over to like Japanese yen so you guys could see the big difference. Because if the US dollar versus the Japanese yen looks like this, then we are going to see a lot. We'll probably see. It's a lot of talking I'm doing today. I'm running out of gas here. I don't even know what I was saying, but yeah, I think I've got the point across. I don't think I need to continue to expand on it. Let's see. Well, you would. If you're using the money to pay your house off faster instead get a better return in the market, it does cover that inflation. No, it wouldn't, because if you're not using the money to pay your house off faster, then you're going to be paying more interest on the mortgage itself. So you're not offsetting the inflation by ignoring the mortgage interest. You're going to offset the inflation, but then you're still going to have the mortgage interest that's going to put you upside down. So you have to keep in the whole picture, and that's what I'm trying to get at. It's not, especially in this type of inflation. If we were at 2% inflation, it would be one thing, but we're at 10.5% inflation. That's a big deal. And again, let me put this real simple. If you are calculating your 10% gains in the stock market, you say you're 10% up, and that's covering inflation, right? It's still in US dollars. So the US dollar amount you're making is still inflated. So it's not actually covering anything. That's what I'm trying to get you to realize. If you are looking at it in US dollar terms all the way around, then you're not going to see the correct analysis of the currency. You are completely ignoring the currency analysis and only sticking to the technical analysis of the charts without that piece of the puzzle, right? You have to understand, just because you make 10% in the stock market does not mean that you're beating inflation right now. Because the 10% you're making is an inflated 10%. You're making your 10% back in US dollars. So you're actually not making, if you're gaining 10% and inflation rates at 10%, you're making zero. You're not making 10%. And that's the difference. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Like, if everything is calculated in the US dollar, then all of your calculations are inaccurate. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. So I get what you're saying and I get where you're coming from. But my I don't want to say argument, but my point is not about what you can do within the US dollar. My point is about not being in the US dollar at all. That's my point. Because you're not getting accurate technical analysis if you're not calculating in the currency. Yes, but what are you calculating in? You're calculating in US dollar. That is the point. I understand your calculations are coming out really accurate, but you are doing your calculations with a fake number. The variable, if it's A plus B equals C, and the US dollar is B of your equation, and it's always US dollar is B as part of the equation, then your equation has a wrong variable in it. It's an inaccurate variable. So the rest of the equation cannot be inaccurate or cannot be accurate. That is a major variable. That variable is what I'm trying to get you to see. You've got to take that into account because you can the numbers you're coming up right now with, yeah, they say that it shows to you that it's beating inflation, but it's all in US dollars. So again, inflation's way higher than what it actually is showing from the consumer price index that was changed, and you are calculating off of that fake US dollar inflation rate number. You're calculating off of the idea that the US dollar is based at a dollar. Again, it's a mind state, it's a perspective that we've all been brainwashed to think that the US dollar is the end all be all of everything. Like everything is measured off a US dollar. It used to be true, but it's not true anymore. And it's become less and less true since the US dollar was taken off of the gold standard. The US dollar is a completely artificial currency. Like I've said before, all they have to do to add more US dollars to the currency supply is this. That's it. I'm adding millions of dollars into the US currency supply. You have to calculate that they can do this in the currency in your calculations of gaining. If that can continue to happen to the US dollar, which it can and has been happening, and you're not calculating all these button clicks of the Federal Reserve adding that currency in, how could you possibly be getting an accurate picture? When the currency supply can change with the click of a button, how are you accurately coming to your analysis? Your B variable in the A plus B equals C is not the B variable that it should be. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Any calculations you make are going to seem right based off of the US dollar. But that's what I'm telling you. is those calculations are not accurate because you're calculating off of the US dollar. Charts do not reflect inflation, and the US dollar, if you're calculating in US dollar, it's not reflecting an accurate return of your gains. Yeah, that's HATX. Probably same thing, probably some type of hitting a resistance line. That's what I was saying. I really wasn't planning on taking any trades today. I figured it was going to be a pretty ugly day. What did I do there? Oh, there we go. Did I just screw up my whole setup? That's right. I think I did. What did I do there? Well, I've done screwed up my thinkorswim today. Oh well, I've got this chart area we can look at. Well, no, those aren't right either. Let me see. Let me just reload the things. I got to remember where it's at. I don't ever have to do this. But I got to now. New setup. What was the most previous one? Let's see. Video setup. Let's see. Nope. That's not the right one. Oh, there we go. Sort of. No, that's not right. I'm having issues here. I'm telling you guys, when I get start getting around that 2 hour mark of live streaming, my brain just does not work. Okay, here we go. Okay, new setup 709. Let's see if that one works. No, that's not looking good either. I know it's not the four-way. Well, whatever. Excuse me. I'm gonna have to redo my charts now. Apparently. Yeah, you see Sadu cracking out of that uptrend, Swivel cracking that trend, BWV still in the channel but getting rejected off of the top there. Huss starting to push back up. It means oil. Yep, oil's starting to push towards 111. It's over that 110.75. HDS in with a pullback. And you guys said, what was it? ATHX. Is that right? ATHX. Oh, he has a nice little pop on this guy. They beat some earnings, it looks like. Use of... Oh, that's not them. That's a different PR. But yeah, very nice run. 16 cents on this so far on a 50-cent stock is quite a run. That's a nice pop. Not sure why it's really popping. You see it's been in a downtrend for over a year. But it is running right into the 50-day at 65 cents. It got rejected at 70 cents on April 29th. And then back here was a lot of resistance as well. And we look right to here, this same area. So you just got a lot of resistance ahead of it. Which is why I don't mind some of Austin's plays that he's pointing out that are like super, super low. Because when they're super, super low below that 200-day moving average on the daily, they tend to try to get back towards it, but this is a penny stock. It's been a penny stock for a while. Yeah, this thing has always came down. It's been downtrending since 2020. But this is possibly the lowest this company's ever been. Yeah, it is the lowest this company's ever been. But they could go lower. Let's see, what's the NQ doing right at the second? NQ still sideways. Just so much indecision, so much sideways, and now we're back a little bit green on the market watch. So we are seeing a ton of indecision today. Let's see if the cryptos have rebounded any at all. Luis Albert Gonzalez, absolutely appreciate you being a part of the stream. I know you're around. You're not much of a talker, but you're always around. I know my quiet peeps. Nothing wrong with being quiet. But I appreciate that. Yeah, gosh, this market's so ugly. Yeah, I don't think, and it's not like there's really any other markets at the moment outside of the stock market that are doing really anything. We have just been in consolidation, but with these pullbacks on the NASDAQ, that's why I'm thinking we're going to start seeing some activity in the other markets. Especially the crypto market. Bitcoin did come down to 35. This is holding above there. Gold and silver still hanging in their areas. Platinum did get that little pop the other day, but dropping back down, so still going sideways there. I think a lot of it is the U.S. dollar's false strengthening that we've been seeing. This May, well, actually the whole start of this year, the dollar has been strengthening, but we're looking at the dollar index overall. You know, we're in a 60-year downtrend or whatever, and it looks like it probably is going to get rejected, as this is a triple top. This is the third time that it's come up and tested these areas in the last 5 years. The first two times it was rejected, and so far this time it is starting to get rejected. But money is coming out of the stock market as the NASDAQ is dropping down. Money's going to come out. It's been coming out, and that's why we're seeing this dollar strengthen. But money's not going to stay in U.S. dollar currency. It's going to move to either a different rotation in the stock market of stocks, or it's going to move into precious metals or cryptos, futures, real estate. I'm highly doubting, because I really think we're about to see the housing. That's the Dow Jones. Yeah, that's the real estate. I really think we're about to see the housing market get hit pretty hard. It's not going to be immediate. You know, these markets are huge markets, so it's not like day trading where when I predict these moves on the markets, it's not like I'm talking about it could happen 30 minutes from now, which, you know, anything can happen in the future, but the whole real estate market moving, the whole gold market moving. Gold has $1 trillion market cap. Gold has way bigger of a market cap than all of the U.S. stock market exchanges combined. So it takes a whole lot of buying and selling to move gold and the real estate market and these other markets, because they're a whole lot bigger than the U.S. stock market. So, and they're usually bought globally, right? You have real estate investors from all around the world that buy in the United States and Israel, wherever. But with these raising interest rates on housing mortgages, I like I've been saying, I don't see how the real estate market is going to stay up. Seems pretty crazy. Lori Lee, you always find them too high. uh, let's see what HSI. What kind of weird ticker symbols are you giving me? What is that N225? Is that a future or something? HSI. That's not showing up. Oh, is this what you're talking about? The whatever this is, the Chinese index? Hang Seng index? I'm not familiar with this index. Let me see here. There's no data on it. Yeah, the Chinese. If this is, I don't know exactly which exchange this is. I've never heard of this one in particular, but I don't focus really on Chinese exchanges or Chinese stocks ever. Let me just before I start analyzing this, let me figure out what I'm looking at. Let me Google what Hang Seng actually is. I don't want to sit here and pretend I know something I don't know anything about. The Hang Seng Index is a free float adjusted market capitalization weighted stock market index in Hong Kong. It is used to record and monitor daily changes of the largest companies of the Hong Kong stock market and is the main indicator of the overall market performance in Hong Kong. Okay, so it is the same thing as basically the Nasdaq. Oh, oh, no, it's not. No, it's not at all. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. This is very important. So it is based on the average of 33 stocks quoted on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. I know there is more than 33 companies on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So if this is only based on the average of 33 stocks, you can't even go off of this. This is some Chinese shenanigans with their index. Let's just see how many stocks. That's like the SPY being weighted with Facebook and Google and all that. The SPY is going to give you inaccurate readings because it's most heavily weighted in tech stocks. So tech stocks are always the first to get hit in a market drop. So that's why I do not look at the SPY anymore. I only look at the NQ. So let's see, how many stocks are on the Hang Seng? Oh my God, let's see. So 2,572 companies. There's actually way less than I was expecting, but should have known because, as this is saying right here, we know China is a communist economy. And so it looks like 64 companies represent 60% of the capitalization of Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So that's, yeah. I don't know. I don't know about using this for any type of analysis. I don't trust it. That's too easily. It's not. That's if you've only got 2,000. Like China, the population of China is in the billions. If you've only got 2,000 companies on your public stock market, then that's not, it's not a good reflection of your economy in the first place. I mean, it is down. It's down quite a bit on the weekly chart. It's like if you compare this index to the SPY or the QQQ, we'll just do the QQQ just because it's a little bit less weighted in tech than the SPY is. Let's go to a week chart. So yeah, and I know where you're going with this too, Austin. Just by looking at these charts, one of these is at the bottom and one of them is at the top. And this goes along, even though I really don't want to calculate this index with this, but it does go along with what I've been talking about, that the U.S. dollar could be losing to the to China as the world currency reserve. But China right now has got those lockdowns they're doing that are causing problems. That well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It's really hard to calculate countries' economies like China and Russia who are not really honest with the world. Like, I know for a fact Russia's got plenty of gold and oil, all of that, and they are an extremely rich country in resources. They just are. But I don't trust their reporting, you know. Same way I don't trust the U.S. reporting. That's why I put the video out about the way the CPI was changed and all of that. So if I don't trust my own country's reporting, I definitely ain't trusting Russia or China's reporting. So I don't know. But yeah, I get what you're getting at. The Chinese market is down pretty low. The U.S. stock market is still extremely high. So it makes a lot of sense looking at the Chinese market or any other markets outside of the U.S. dollar currency that could be a lot lower like this. Interesting. Oh, okay, so I got somebody saying tat. Okay, let me hop on there on tat real quick. See what's going on with that. Make sure I'm spelling it right. Okay, let's turn this back to the link there. Yeah, they're definitely strategic lockdowns. I agree 100%. I agree 100% about that. Okay, so TAT, let me put this on a 1 hour chart. That just dropped to a pretty nasty drop today from $6 to $5.56. Looking at, this is a technology stock, so if it does not have anything to do with blockchain, like I was saying earlier, it could get hit. It has been on a nice uptrend since 2020, but we have this uptrend from 2020 is the same uptrend as the NASDAQ, the SPY, and everything else. So TAT has been pushed up on this uptrend artificially since 2020 because of all the currency printing and the Feds buying in. But now the Feds are selling all their assets, and you can see that trend line has cracked on TAT. Actually, it looks like it may go very bearish here soon. But it's just following the stock market, or just follow, like if I put this on a daily chart here and change this over to the NQ. Oh, forgot my backslash. There we go. and look at the NQ at the same time period from 2020, go on the week chart, right there, this is the same uptrend. Right there's the start of 2020, the COVID dip, and this is all the currency printing and QE, asset buying from the feds. And now they've stopped. The NQ is starting to crack, and you're seeing plays that have been following the NQ very close cracking as well. Because this looks like a McDonald's arch right here. And it's struggling to even get over $6. So let me look at this today. Let's go into smaller time frame. But yeah, I'm pretty sure TAD is just going to fall. If the market falls, it's going to follow it. Okay, turn it back to red. TAD. What time is it? Oh boy, gotta get going here soon. Let's see you on an hour chart. There's no volume on this either. This whole week, it's barely even had any volume. These volume bars are not much. When you see a stock that has all these checks on an hour chart, that means it is very, very low volume and nobody is really messing with it. The most volume we got was today and yesterday on both of these two sell-offs. Yeah, I don't like that at all. They did report some good earnings, but earnings are not going to matter if the stock market crashes even more. Like I said, if we start cracking this, like I can look at every stock on the NASDAQ today, and it's not going to matter about the technical analysis intraday if the NASDAQ cracks right here. Because all that technical analysis is going to go straight out the window. Because just like this morning and yesterday when we had that big pullback, everything pulled back. You know, all the markets pulled back. Gold, silver, everything. So I don't know if you're looking at TAT long term or you're looking at it short term, but either case, right now we're in shark infested, blood piranha waters of shorters getting ready to jump aboard the roller coaster ride we're about to go on here. Let's see. What is the N225? I didn't check that. N225. That is not showing. Oh, there it is. The N225. JP. What is this? Analyze. The Nikkei 225, I'm assuming is how you say that. Nikkei. I don't speak Asian in any of the form of. Let me just look what this is up as well. Like I said, I don't look at these markets like that. N25. What is NKK? I've heard of the Nikkei or whatever it is, but oh, that's for the Tokyo exchange. So it's for the Japanese exchange. Gotcha. So okay, yeah, the Nikkei is just an index on the TSE. Okay. This is why I don't pay attention to those names, because for one, I can't say them. And for two, you can pretty much see on TradingView anything you want to around any country. The only thing with TradingView is the futures ticker symbols on there tend to be a little bit different. Let me see if I can pull up N225. Yeah, see, I don't know what none of this means. This is just a bunch of numbers. So I guess Tokyo does something with a bunch of numbers. This is probably some type of code for something. But you can see these are all in 225 indexes. Now, see, that doesn't look right. Miles index. They may just be smaller indexes or whatever. But that's why that's why I don't look too deep into their indexes, because it's confusing. I don't know their indexes that well. I'll just look at the price comparatively to, or like I said, you can just look at forex pairs. If you know how the currency is performing, then you should have a good idea of how the economy is performing. So the U.S. dollar versus the Japanese is the yen, I believe. Yeah, there it is. U.S. dollar versus Japanese yen. Oops, where'd you go? What are you doing? USD yen. Oh, it's USD JPY, not yen. Duh. Okay. Phew. So the dollar is strengthening. Still. Yeah, you can see right there. So there's the US dollar currency index, and there's the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. It's strengthening. But like I said, I think this is a false strengthening, and Japan's economy is not really a great economy to compare to the US, because Japan's so tiny. They do have a pretty big economy for how tiny of a country they are, but it's hard to compare those two. All right, guys. Well, I believe I'm going to call it a day. Still nothing really going on. Looks like the NQ may be starting to crack this little uptrend that it did have going, so we'll probably see some more red coming. I'm going to continue to hold INDO and HYMC today. I really, really don't want to hold these over the weekend. I do not want to hold anything over the weekend, to be honest. But we'll see. It's still a lot of time left. Just keep in mind it is Friday. Fridays are crazy. All right, guys. If you haven't yet, go check out frameworkfortune.com. It's completely free, and you can sign up to join the Discord there. But we have all types of resources on there, and it's continuing to get built out for everybody to access. Appreciate the great discussion today, Austin. Good job, buddy. That's why I like discussing and debating with you. You know how to keep it classy. We don't have to get into insults and arguments, because you actually have charting and things like that to back up a lot of the stuff you're saying. So shout out to Austin for giving us a good little debate here today about the ways to combat inflation. Because I could be completely wrong and Austin could be completely right. So it's nice to have two perspectives, that people can compare to. So shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to everybody else always joining us. Lori, our great moderator, Stonks and Chops Gaming, GD, Daniel B. You've been a well-behaved boy today. I appreciate that. Hector, welcome. I think you've been around for a while, so I don't know if I want to say. Well, I'll say welcome to you again anyway. And shout out to everybody else if I missed somebody. Austin, I already got that. Yeah. Let me get off here before my brain explodes. You guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. There will be some content coming out on this channel, but of course, weekends I cover usually quite a bit of crypto content on the crypto channel. And there is, before I go, I was announcing this morning in H&H Trader's live stream in his live chat, but there was some shenanigans that went on with that. So I want to go ahead and put this out here before I go. Last night, I was able to launch a blockchain in the Cosmos ecosystem. When we started the idea of the Framework Fortune blockchain, I was adamant about doing the project in the Cosmos ecosystem because I'm so bullish on it. Different research and things happened. We had several mishaps with tokens. Right now, we do have a stabilized Binance token in a stable pool, but I did further diving into the Cosmos ecosystem, into the coding and all that last night, and I figured out, at least as of now, as of last night, I launched a blockchain. Not a layer 2, because we were aiming to do a layer 2 to raise money to develop the blockchain, but I think I'm going to be able to skip the whole Binance and the token and all of that and just go straight to a Cosmos ecosystem blockchain for the Framework Fortune project, which means we will not have a token, we will have an actual coin. And if I can do that all right off the bat over this next month or two, I think that is really going to set us up well for this project going forward in the future. I am going to start a YouTube channel this weekend for updates for the blockchain project. So I'll let you guys know next week where the link is at for that, and you can go check that out if you are following along with that project. If you're not, you're just here for the day trading and stocks, don't worry about none of this. But yeah, I'm very excited that I was able to launch that blockchain in the Cosmos ecosystem. I just have to learn a little bit more of the coding because it's a whole different type of different language of coding than what I was using to code the Binance smart chain contracts. So it's going to take me a little bit of time along with everything else, but I do not want to release this project and it be not secure. Security is number one priority. I will not put out a project in the crypto blockchain space that other people can put their money into until I know for sure that we are completely secure on the coding side. And then of course we have HH Trader, who can find any holes and fix the holes, because that's what he does for one of his revenue streams. Is he is a cybersecurity specialist, and his favorite thing to do is find the holes. So it's a great thing that we have HH on the team for the blockchain project. But so I'm not taking up so much time on this channel talking about it because I know not everybody's interested in it. Those of you who are, be sure to join the new channel when I launch it, and I'll keep everybody updated there as well as on the blockchain tab of frameworkfortune.com. So there's that update for now. Expect a lot more to come out on the project here soon, especially if I am able to make this blockchain in the Cosmos ecosystem do what I want it to do. It would be amazing because I am so bullish on the Cosmos ecosystem. But anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Until next time.
This is war with the enemy. Think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me. I know most are festering negativity